Hello and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan,
I'm Michael.
And I'm Helena.
and for this episode we watched Oliver and Company. I watched this a fucking lot as a kid. I had this on VHS. I didn't realise how old this film was. Like, this film was from 1988.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out on VHS till like 96. And I used to watch it a lot. And I remember being sad at it all the time. Like, the ending, I'd cry at it every single time. It took a while for me to get back round to this one, because obviously losing Jess last year, I was like, I don't really want to watch a movie where I know a cat is maybe dead at the end.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? It's time. I'm gonna watch this. We'll watch it. And I felt fucking nothing.
Right?
This podcast has ruined me.
I'm so disappointed by this film.
I was sad at the beginning when he doesn't get adopted. I was like, oh, that's really sad. And then at the end,
Because a
like,
fucking mouse got adopted.
Yeah. Like, I vividly remember the ending and being like, oh my god, he was killed by the subway train. This is so sad. And I was just like, nothing.
Right? Like, I remember this film being a lot. Like, I went into this film being like, I don't think I wasn't in, like, the state to watch it. And I was like, it's just really emotional. I'm going to get really sad. It's not that sad. And I don't know if
it's really not that sad. Like, what are we confusing it with other films?
No, 100% this is the one. Because as bits went on, I started remembering them.
Yeah.
Like the bit where there's the female dog that's just, like, sassy as fuck.
Yeah. It's not a bad film.
No.
It's quite a good film. It's just not sad.
No.
And
maybe it's because our adult brains are like, the cat's not really dead. Whereas as a child, you're like, maybe he's really gone this time.
Well, I don't know if it is like a weird.
Are you sure you weren't thinking of The Fox and the Hound? Just because if you look at Oliver and you look at the fox in The Fox and the Hound, they look really similar.
I remember being sad at Oliver and Company. I don't know why.
I've never seen The Fox and the Hound.
Also,
we're not going to watch. We're not doing it.
But that's what worries me about this film. Is like this was one of the sad films of my childhood, and if nostalgia has made it sadder than it is, which is a weird kind of nostalgia to have.
I know, right?
I'm now really worried to watch the other films that made me sad as a kid. I don't want to be disappointed by The Fox and the Hound. I don't think I will be, but I don't want to risk it.
Yeah.
No, like, bits that formed integral parts of being a person. And, like, I've always liked cats. I've realised this movie is also probably why I called one of the cats I had Oliver when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Was
he ginger?
No, he was a black cat. Speaking of things I didn't put together, guess how far into this movie I was before I realised that it's just Oliver Twist, but the twist is he's a cat?
Was it embarrassingly?
Yeah. Like, it was this time watching it. It was about halfway through when I was talking to friend of the show, Poppy, about it, and she was like, oh my god, isn't it crazy how in the 80s you could just be like, hey, I've got an idea for a movie. It's Oliver Twist, but cats in New York and it's, like, all musical. And I was like, hang on, what?
I mean, one of them's literally called Fagin.
Yeah, you'd think I'd have realised. Like, I'd have probably realised watching it this time round my own, but I did not.
No.
I have when it comes to Oliver Twist, I am very familiar with very specific parts of the film, and then have of the musical and like the plot, and no idea what happens in the rest of it, because it was the musical we did in year 7 at school, and I was in the the year 7 chorusy bit. So I remember like the food, glorious food. Like, I remember being an orphan.
You remember your bits?
Yeah, and like other than that, I've no idea. Like, doesn't he at some point? There's like a funeral home he goes into or something. And
I think so.
I have no idea. I didn't realise this was Oliver Twist, let alone the actual.
That's true.
Like,
that's true.
I've never read the book. I've never. Yeah.
It's one thing that I could never get into. Like, I've never really, like, same sort of thing as, I would say, maybe Mary Poppins as well, where it's like,
what?
I tried watching it a few times, but when I tried watching it before as a kid, I just never cared for it.
Mary Poppins is so good, though.
Yeah, that one's probably Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That's the one that I was like, no, this is
Oh yeah, no, I
shit.
don't.
Yeah.
I remember
But,
really
yeah.
disliking Dick Van Dyke
Yeah.
in Mary Poppins, but apart
Yeah.
from that, I thought it was good.
Yep.
I think.
So this was considered a boys' musical when it came out because it was jazz.
Yeah.
So it's a boys' musical, obviously, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
'Cause of
Jazz
jazz.
Dogs.
Because of those
He's
like
cool.
3 songs in it. There's only like 3 or 4 songs in this
Yeah,
whole
there's
film, right?
Huey Lewis and the News, and they did the first song, and then the dog is literally voiced by Billy Joel.
Yeah.
There's some singing in it, and then
But they definitely Mulan it. Like once it gets serious, it stops being a musical.
Yeah.
it stops being musicy when it's like, oh, this guy owes people money, and if he doesn't get it, this guy's just gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah. And I don't know. if
Yeah,
that
and then
was
it's like, oh, okay, we'll ransom this rich person's cat, and then it's like, well, okay,
Yeah.
actually, I'll just kidnap the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bit where she's like crying because she's like, I've lost my cat, I don't know where he is. That bit was still a little bit emotional.
No, that
but,
bit was sad, but it wasn't like
but not as sad as I
it's all
remember it all being.
core memory kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I saw this film all that much, to be fair. I remembered like Oliver.
Hmm.
So I think I never saw this, and I remembered the dog, the
Yeah.
main dog, Billy Joel. Is it Billy Joel?
Company.
Yeah.
You know, the dog's called Go.
Dodger. Of course it is. It's Oliver
the,
fucking
the
Twist.
artful Dodger. No,
Yeah, he's Dodger,
You're right, the dog is called Company.
The dog is called Company.
But I don't know if I ever actually saw this all the way through. I did not remember the girl at
I
all.
vaguely remembered the girl.
Yeah, I didn't really remember her until it got to the point where he gets adopted by her and she's like feeding him just loads of like cream and
Yeah.
chocolate.
And I
stuff.
did not remember Fagin. And isn't he just hideous to look at?
Yeah.
He's a horrible, scrawny little man.
That makes
Um,
dogs earn a living for him
Yeah.
to pay off his debts. Wait, Fagin was the bad guy in Oliver Twist.
They're very well trained
Look
dogs.
at that. Yeah. I did like the art style of the backgrounds. That was quite.
that was
quite
one
nice, 'cause
thing
it
that
was
I did
just a little
enjoy.
bit
Oh,
different.
no, I love the art style of the whole movie. It was great.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Like it looks nice. It's got some of that like real early kind of CGI kind of things, like with the bad guy's like car is quite clearly the model is sort of 3D.
Yeah.
I love the
Bad
I
guy
love
called again. Hang on, let me just Google Oliver Twist.
I love the movements of characters of like that style of animation. I love like character movement because it's so
Yeah.
like nice and like stylized. One thing I didn't like about this movie though was the audio. Was anyone else really off put by the audio?
It was a little bit sort of jarring in places.
I think because like the beginning of the film, you have like the opening music and everything, and then there's like no background music, and it's jarringly realistic like background sounds of New York.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's just a tad too realistic to be comfortable to listen to. It's really
a bunch
weird.
of honking and get out the fucking way.
Yeah, but then it's like it's like a cartoon musical, and there's no
Yeah.
music.
It's
Yeah.
very strange how it does go from being, it opens like it is going to be a proper rompy musical, and then it just sort of forgets to do any more music.
Yeah,
Kind of like how I also forgot this had music in it.
yeah.
I'm no longer surprised when I watch a Disney film and find out there's songs in it.
No.
Like, that seems to happen more often than not.
But they put way too much effort into, well, not effort, but way too much focus in making the background sounds realistic. Because like they have the footstep sounds.
Mm.
Yeah, like it's all very.
It's really
I guess it's
weird.
supposed to be because it's overwhelming for Oliver because he's like,
But
he
is
was
that-
just a kitten that wasn't adopted, and he's
But it's not
Trying to find
overwhelming.
its way
Like
around.
it's surprisingly empty sounds.
yeah.
But there's just too. It's too like
to jump
real.
quite near the end, like the warehouse
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
did sound like empty and
Right.
it was quite eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. When there's not music, this film feels really eerie.
Yeah, it's in that weird era of kids' films of it's just a bit dark and creepy.
Yeah.
Like,
They didn't quite know how to, like...
Yeah,
the
it's
art
weird
of-
when it's like, this is a young, vulnerable kitten that's adopted by, like, a gang and
Yeah.
made to do, like, the dirty work. And then kind of bullied into not having a better life.
yeah.
Which I guess is the plot of Oliver Twist, but it's like, why would you want to make that into a kid's
You
movie?
do it to cats.
No.
You do it to a cat, it's fine.
Do you know what else makes you be able to tell that this is from the 80s? Everyone's just fucking chowing down on cigars in every other scene.
Yeah.
And the clothes as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the bad guy, Sykes, I think. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, he just always has a cigar in. And there's a point where there's some rats and they're smoking cigars too.
Yeah.
Yep. This film's just weird. Like, it's not bad.
No.
It's entertaining, but it's not like...
I don't know.
It
I didn't have a great time watching it. The bits I did really enjoy were the stills, the paintings of New York City.
Yeah, they were
Like
really
the
nice.
songs, I cannot tell you a single song from this.
Only the main one. Like, the good one. What is it called? Why Could I Worry?
Yeah,
Why Should
where
I
he's sort
Worry?
of chasing him around. Where he
What's
says the
that
great
like?
line, "Fairs are for tourists, kid."
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, that's not fair.
He's like, yeah, after he because he meets the cat, Oliver, the titular
Yeah.
Oliver,
Yeah.
steals a load ring of sausages and then teaches Oliver how to be in the city.
Well, he
yeah,
he
the
teaches
dog, yeah.
Oliver how to catch. Oliver's begging for a sausage, and he's like, "You're never gonna get a sausage," like acting like that.
You have to sneak it off of him. Which,
And then, well, it's like you have to cause a distraction and then steal them while they're distracted. But then he
Yeah.
doesn't share, and Oliver's like, well, "You dickhead! I know I've earned that sausage."
Yeah. So Company, being the dog that he is like,
Hmm.
you need to be more New York, kid. And then sings him a song, as New Yorkers do.
And Oliver follows him all the way back to the boat they live on with the other dogs.
The other dogs, the great, amazing dogs. I love all the dogs. The dogs are great.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, the dog. There's no bad dogs in this film.
exactly.
There are two bad dogs.
Maybe a slightly problematic Mexican dog.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheech.
Chico, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
he was a fun character, though.
Yeah.
I
He's a
liked-
Chihuahua,
I liked
which I
Francis,
guess.
the bulldog, as well. He was cool. He's just got a posh voice the whole time.
He likes high class things.
Exactly. And the other one was Einstein. He was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just a gang. Well, it's Oliver. It's Oliver. It's Oliver Twist. Like-
Yeah.
We're just going to explain the plot of Oliver Twist, but instead of people, they're cats and dogs.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just...
I don't remember the poodle in Oliver Twist.
I can't remember.
I mean, I didn't really remember that dog until it got to the scene, and she's just like, yeah, the dog that the girl
Georgette.
already owns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The like real
yeah,
posh
Georgette.
breeding, like high class prize winning poodle.
Yeah. So, yeah, to get to that point, Oliver gets picked up by this little girl.
Yeah, called Jenny.
Who kind of comes into the story out of fucking nowhere, like 20 minutes in.
Well, they're trying to rob. I think is it the car stereo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
like,
Which
Francis
is
pretends to get
something
hit by
that
the car.
younger audiences will not appreciate.
No.
But back in today, cars would come with a stereo that you would buy separately and put in the car, and you would have to take it out because they were quite expensive, and people would just nick them. Like it was
Yeah.
worth breaking into your car to steal the radio.
Yeah, Francis, like, pretends to get hit by the car, and then Chico and Oliver go in to try and steal the radio.
Yeah, while he's doing an amazing job of acting like gravely wounded.
Yeah.
it happens throughout this film. Do you, as a driver, how do you explain that, like, you got the car stereo by a bunch of dogs?
Well, I think you probably assume that it wasn't dogs and that someone was just a chancer and took it while you were distracted.
That's true.
I mean, that would be I would probably jump to the conclusion that I was distracted and a human stole the stereo.
Ah, see, we're back to
Yeah.
the Little Mermaid situation where, like, I would go, shit, the dogs took it.
They must need that for some reason.
Yeah. But, like, we'll get to it later, but when they help, like, the kid escape, the evil guy's just like, yeah, the dogs are helping them escape, and just not bothered by the fact that there are dogs
Yeah.
helping a child escape. properly, like it's working. How do you explain that? How do you explain that later on in life? But yeah, she takes the cat because the little girl wants to adopt the cat. Takes him back to her house. She's got. I kept thinking that who voices her, like butler, because I kept hearing Stephen Fry. It's not Stephen Fry.
No.
But I was like, that just sounds like him.
Oh God, do you remember the guy, the butler's name?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
Go on IMDb.
But yeah, so yeah, she has another dog, a nice poodle, who is stuck up and arrogant.
Is it Winston?
Sure.
It's voiced by a guy called William Glover. No idea.
Yeah.
He's not done a lot.
She has, the poodle doesn't like the cat, obviously.
No, because she's a very pretentious poodle.
Yeah. We also have, again, cartoon food looks really good.
Yeah.
Like it looks
amazing. That bowl full of like cream and chocolate bits.
Yeah, Jenny makes the food for Oliver that she thinks a cat should like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is,
and to be fair,
stuff.
Probably would.
But it looks
Oliver isn't particularly fussy.
No. Oliver grew up on the streets. He'll eat most things.
They don't really show the chaos of a street cat in Oliver.
No.
Well, he's so young, isn't he? That he's
That's
pretty.
true.
He's just so adaptable. That's his skill, isn't it?
He's
Like,
just a little kitten.
and he's
That
quite
is
happy
true.
to be loved by Jenny and sort of be a funny little house cat.
They go on nice little
Yeah.
adventures. She takes him to the location of the boat race from Stuart Little.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's New York, so of course we have to go to Central Park.
Exactly. And then the other dogs want to rescue Oliver because they think Oliver's been kidnapped by her when actually he's been adopted and he's happy.
Yeah. But they do. They get him back.
Yeah, they break into the house. Georgette at first is like thinking that she's going to get kidnapped, and then they're like, "No, we're here for the cat."
She's like, "Oh, take him, please." They get the cat back. He's like, then you find out that the homeless guy that they work for, owes like a lot of money.
Yeah, Fagin owes Sykes a fuckload of money, and so he's like, "Well, this rich girl had this cat. I'll just..."
Yeah, she had him long enough to get an engraved collar for him.
Yeah,
with the address on.
That's like a day. That's like rich.
And it's like it's this probably means more to like New Yorkers or America, but it's like the address is like you could only be wealthy to live on that street.
Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, she'll pay to get the cat back."
Yeah, they're like this posh guy. They basically assume it's a pair, like adults.
Yeah, they assume it's adults, but her parents are never there because they're rich New Yorkers. They're too busy doing other things like cocaine. It was the 80s after all.
It was the 80s.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely on cocaine.
I wasn't disagreeing with you.
No.
So he sets up a ransom.
Yeah.
And
then Jenny's there and she's like, "Oh, I just bought my piggy bank. This is all that I have."
Yeah, because she doesn't tell Winston.
She doesn't tell anyone. Yeah, she doesn't
No.
tell anyone. And he gets a heart. He feels sorry for her.
Yeah.
So he pretends.
And also, there's absolutely no point taking her piggy bank's worth of money.
Yeah. But he does feel sorry for her, and he's like, "Oh, I found the cat."
So he pretends to find
Yeah.
Oliver, and she's
Yeah.
obviously really happy.
Yeah.
And then Sykes kidnaps her and Oliver.
And he's like, all you have to do, or he says to Sykes, is like, all you have to do is keep quiet about this, and your debt's paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
because he knows that he can now ransom
The girl.
the rich family. Like,
Yeah, because
with the cat.
they'll pay a hell of a lot more for a child than they would for a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. That the parents probably don't even know that they have.
No,
Yeah.
exactly.
But yeah, so the dogs are like, "We'll get the girl back and the cat." Which you get, like, imagine being a kidnapper and being like, "How'd the girl get out?" A group of dogs turned up.
Well, imagine being Winston being like, yeah, your child's been, she's been kidnapped. Just like, I don't know, she ran away to pay a cat ransom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't worry, the dogs brought her back. What do you mean? I didn't ask questions. I didn't.
Yeah,
So yeah,
the
they go.
dogs were coordinated by a young kitten.
Yeah. Seems to be the ringleader.
Yeah,
But yeah, they
they-
go to Evil Warehouse.
Yeah. They go through a whole thing getting
They
them back, and then
hack into the system and
yeah.
override the doors.
Yeah, well, she's in like a warehouse, and
Yeah. Tied to
so
a chair.
they have like it's like an old post office kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like post, I guess, port sorting
Yeah.
office.
It's like an old dock. Yeah.
Because it's got
dock
those like
warehouse.
it's got all the runners and the slides and chutes and stuff
Yeah.
for, I assume, parcels, or it could just be boxes, yeah. Which looked kind of would be fun if you were not currently escaping kidnapping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
probably. But yeah, to get her out, she's tied to a wheelie chair. So they put like a hook around it and lift her up.
Yeah.
While they get the Chihuahua to hack into the mainframe.
Yeah. Distract all the other dogs.
Yeah, because Sykes has like two. What are they? Like Dobermans?
Yeah.
Dobermans, yeah. Roscoe and the other one.
And they're just arseholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, to be fair, they're all like giving it all that right up until like they're like, well, at least we're free dogs, not pets.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you got us there. And then the is it Rita, the girl dog?
Yeah.
And she's all like quite sexy and aloof with them.
This film is weird.
It is
yeah,
weird.
it gets weirder.
This film is
Yeah.
weird.
Because now we get to a point where they escape on like a little cart thing. Sykes is driving after them in his big car. They drive onto like the subway tracks and they're going across Brooklyn Bridge. And then they manage to jump out the way, and Sykes' car just gets fucking annihilated by an
Sykes
underground
dies,
track.
right?
Because
He just full on explodes. He is gone.
they're
That
like...
is a zero survivors kind of crash.
Well, no, there
Yeah.
are survivors because Oliver and company, the dog company.
Well, they don't. He crashes off to the side. They don't crash.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but
because they
they jump back to like save.
Yeah,
the
they
girl.
jump back to save
Oliver.
Jenny, and then Oliver ends up there when the car gets hit.
Yeah,
And
Company is
I
also
remember
there.
always thinking as a kid, like, "Oh my god,
the cat
he's
got
fucking
hit.
dead."
Yeah, I didn't write very much down, but I did have Oliver better not be fucking dead
Yeah.
on my
But
I
yeah,
remember him
that whole
them thinking he was dead for a lot longer as well,
Yeah.
but instead,
As
just
we found
immediately
out-
and maybe your
It's so
parents
quick.
paused it then to just mess with you.
but then
he
but you have like that chase scene, that train sequence is really weird because it's really tense. Of like the train's coming. Oh god, evil person. Oh god, how are they going to get away? They're in like a shopping cart. And do you know how they get away? They jump.
yeah,
They
it
somehow jump.
I just remember the two Dobermans essentially get kicked back onto the train tracks as well, so they're probably just fucking fried.
Yeah, no,
from
they're dead.
the third rail.
They're
Yeah.
dead. The dog's dead. The evil guy dead.
Yeah, just full on annihilated by
How-
a
how do
underground
you-
train system that doesn't exist in real life because there isn't a train that goes over the bridge.
What the situation? Like, how does that get explained by the police?
Yeah,
Like how? What?
That subway car would be pretty damaged as well, surely.
Yeah. How are they like? Oh yeah, we saw it. Well, there was a dog driving the cart that was
This
being
weird
chased
homeless
by
man
the
was
car.
trying to.
Wasn't Fagin riding the bike at that point?
No,
And all the
the
other dogs were on
Chihuahua
it as
took
well.
over.
Oh, yeah.
The Chihuahua took over. That's what happened. And the
Well, I think that Jenny is going to get quite a lot of head X-rays.
how do you
at the
explain?
hospital.
Right?
She needs therapy for sure.
Well, no, it's more like, yeah, so these dogs saved me. They were driving
Yeah.
the motorbike, and they're like, yeah, okay, it's been 24 hours, and she's still saying it was the dogs, so we're just going to do another scan, check
Just
for
gonna
some
make sure
bleeding.
everything is okay. But even like, how do the police deal with that? This big mob boss dead. Why? He was trying to. The dogs did it.
It's an odd movie.
It's one of those
Very-
movies you
yeah.
probably shouldn't apply reality to, but that's what we do here.
Yeah, but yeah, the scene where then they're like, "Oh my god, where's Oliver?" And then Dolce kind of comes and Oliver's in his mouth, and it's like, "Oh my god, is he dead?"
Yeah.
I know. He's
Like,
fine.
I sort of for some reason remembered him like lying on the train tracks, and that's why I think he's
Do you-
dead. But
do you know where he
that's-
was?
My brain made that up.
Face down in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
With
sad
all
in the
other
water.
dogs looking.
But then he meows and he's actually okay.
He's fine. He's just perfectly fine.
But yeah, I felt nothing, and I was like, wow, this is disappointing, and I don't know if it's the movie or if it's me or maybe
Yeah.
both.
It's your nostalgia, I think. It probably impacted you a lot more because it sounds like this was you were quite young when you had this film,
Yeah,
and this is probably the scariest thing you got to watch at the time.
Yeah, and I did watch it a lot as well. Like we didn't have a lot of VHSs, but
Yeah.
it was one that I did have, and it's one that I'd want to watch a lot because it's about a cute cat, and I liked cats, even
Yeah.
if it got sad at the end.
Well, I was always convinced that Henwen had died and that Gurgi had died in the pot until he came back in.
Oh, if only.
Excuse me, Gurgi should live forever.
Yeah, Gurgi is life.
I meant like something interesting might have happened in that film.
Yeah. At least we've been brave and watched our films.
Okay, let's watch What Fox and the Hound soon.
No. No.
No, I know my childhood films are shit. I'm well aware. I watch sequels to films I've never seen the original to.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just a bit disappointed because in my brain I was like, I really did love this movie, and
When I was watching
it's
it,
all right.
all it did was make me want to watch Aristocats.
Yeah, it made me want to watch better Disney animal films.
Like, we should definitely do Aristocats at some point because fantastic, and I don't want to be proven otherwise. I'm sure it's good though. It's
I don't
good,
think
right?
I've ever seen it. Kids, see this kind of kids film, this era of like Disney kids film, and like any animated kids film. It's so worrying for us to watch because these are films
it's
we
so hit and
genuinely
miss.
like,
Yeah.
and it can just completely ruin it.
I don't think this was a good film.
It was an okay film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Considering I didn't even know it was Oliver Twist, in my head I'm just like, yeah, it's just this movie about this cat, and then
Called
he gets
Oliver.
adopted, and then he nearly dies at the end.
I'm imagining. I remember this film being like cathartically sad, and I was prepared for it to be like cathartically sad. It's not. It's kind of sad a bit once.
Yeah. Like, I was a bit sad when he didn't get adopted, and I was a bit sad when Jenny's like, I've just lost my kitten, I'm trying to find him.
Fucking Help I'm a Fish was sadder than this film.
Help I'm a Fish was awful. For that, not as in bad film, but like awful for like playing with your emotions. Like those parents, like when they find their kid's hat
Right.
on the
Right.
on the beach. Oh my
man.
goodness! Like those
So sad.
beats were just heartbreaking. Yeah, and like there's certain like when you hear the gunshot in Bambi,
Yeah.
and he's like, your mother's not coming back. Like,
Or like the bit where the dog stands over the fox and the hound.
yeah, no.
Oh, I'm gonna be sad.
This film doesn't have any, like, the only real sad moment is when you think Oliver might have died.
Yeah.
And it's over pretty quickly.
It's
Not long
too
enough for
quick.
not too long for my liking, because it gave me a tough time to actually think, fuck it, have Disney actually
Has
screwed me
Disney
over
done
here?
it? Was
Have
this
they
the
just done it?
era
Have
of-
they decided this is the one?
Yeah,
Is this
I
the
think
era
that's
of
the problem,
Disney?
is like, watching it this time round, I'm like, I know he's not dead.
It doesn't commit. This film doesn't
yeah.
commit.
Yeah, it's not traumatizing enough.
And by commit, I mean murder.
Yeah,
It doesn't commit to the sad enough.
yeah. I wasn't particularly moved. I was like, I thought Oliver was cute and everything, and like I didn't want bad things to happen to him, but I wasn't massively invested in Jenny, and I certainly wasn't invested in any of the dogs, and definitely wasn't invested in Fagin.
No, he's an awful person.
So it was kind of
yeah.
weird, where it was like, I don't want any of the, like, I don't want Oliver to die, but at the same time, like, I wasn't wrapped up in this big plot particularly.
Don't care enough about the rest of it. I don't know. This film's odd, and it's weird nostalgia that makes you sad remembering it, and I'm kind of I don't know how I feel about it not being sad.
Yeah, the nostalgia of it was definitely better.
Yeah.
Better than the
than
movie.
than what actually happens in the movie. Yeah,
But I don't know if that's a bad thing, because is it good to be like, oh, this film used to make me feel sad and now it doesn't?
I suppose that's emotional growth.
Yeah.
yeah.
Things have to be sadder now to upset you.
No, I don't know
Exactly.
about that.
No,
I'm really
Like, I
on
I
edge.
feel like like it could have been, like it just.
Right.
By that time in the film, I'd just kind of not checked out of it, but I was like, this isn't really how I remember. And then it also happens so quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think because they've actually tried to fit in quite a lot of Oliver Twist into the film.
Yeah.
And it doesn't translate very well to the 80s, doesn't translate very well to cats and dogs, and like doesn't really translate very well to New York. It's
not.
It's just not great. Like
yeah,
any like and like if they decided to just do like a cat, you know, learning to be a dog and then getting adopted and like having to come to terms with like, oh, do I leave my dog family behind and be a house cat, which is kind of what I wanted to be originally.
Yeah.
That fine, but this weird kidnapping gangster background story was weird.
Right. It's just strange.
Yeah. She's also the most, I'm not going to lie, the most generic looking animated Disney child ever. So not memorable at all.
I don't even think the child has a surname. Like they didn't really.
Pennies? No, her name's Penny. She's not going to be Penny Pennyworth.
Yeah, Penny Pennington.
Jenny. Oh god. Okay.
Jenny Pennington.
Jenny Pennington. Jenny Penny.
Jenny Penny.
But it was just it's so this film makes me feel so weird.
Jenny Foxworth.
Because I know there are better, sadder Disney films. I'm sure there are other. Because you have Bambi. Bambi's sad. Can we not watch Bambi? I don't want Bambi to not be sad.
Bambi's sad.
Right.
Don't worry, Bambi is sad.
Cool. But you have,
I can confirm.
Bambi, Fox and the Hound.
Bambi's weird because it just has that massive jump where it goes like, oh, look at Bambi, he's so cute and can barely walk. Oh, his mother's died, and then it's like, bam, he's an adult and he's going through puberty.
Yeah.
That's basically the same as The Lion King.
I mean, at the same time, like I may have watched Watership Down when I was too young. So that might be...
I'm glad that most Disney films are not Watership Down level.
Yeah, but that might be like skewing the sadness meter.
I think that's more traumatized than sad.
Yeah,
yeah, but it's like
as in you just don't trust sad movies. You need them to be sadder so that you know what
I need
you're
them to be
with.
Horrifically traumatic to like match.
Like
Watership Down
compared to horrifically sad thing the three of us have all seen in the flesh. This was just
nothing.
Oh, this is nothing.
No,
I didn't cry. I cried more at Juno than this film.
Yeah,
this is Walk in the Park. That's fine. Now I'm sad about
it was more just bewildering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just quite weird.
It's a nice looking film though, like that style of animation. I love it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed just as a clip, I did enjoy the like Georgette introducing herself as like the fancy pants dog.
Yeah, just like
and like all the it's like
musical thing.
Yeah, like do the birds want to fuck Georgette? Like the birds were like properly eyeing her up, and it was a bit. I mean, again, a bit weird.
It's a bit weird. The film's a bit weird.
But I enjoyed that as like a clip, but other than that, like, yeah, too many characters, too much plot that it doesn't properly resolve.
Yeah, absolutely no.
It's over in an hour and 15.
Yeah.
Like
you're not going to get Oliver Twist into an hour and 15 with cats.
And you're not going to be like emotionally invested with the characters.
And that's the thing as well. Like if they'd taken away like a layer of the plot.
Yeah.
Like she did the Jenny being kidnapped instead just did not have to happen.
No. Or like it should have happened earlier. Like it should have happened first instead of the cat being kidnapped.
Yeah. They're like one or the other. It's just there's too many layers, and it's too much for a Disney film, for an animated kids film, because it's obviously for kids. It doesn't go deep enough, even if it did give it the time to. Like it's weirdly clean and gritty in that. So it's this weird juxtapose of like gritty, horrible child poverty orphan story with, hey kids, look at the dancing dogs. The dogs are dancing. Oh, they're so cool.
Singing the jazz.
That dog's wearing sunglasses.
Ooh, that's company. So out of 10s, guys, I feel like it's not going to be high for any of us.
Like, mine's probably higher than it seems, but I'd say maybe like a 5. Nostalgic pings of memory while watching it.
Yeah.
5 times I thought, oh god, I hope they don't make a live-action Disney remake of this.
I don't think they're worried about this. They don't own the IP, so...
No, exactly. But, like, yeah, like, it was all right watching it, but yeah, I
I'm never going to watch this again.
No, I'm probably not now either. I genuinely think this is the one that has broken me for the podcast. For like I loved this so much and I was always so sad, and now I'm just like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
You know?
I'd give this, I think, 4 other Disney films I would have rather watched.
That's not fair. That's like every film we watch. You can't use that. You can't use that because we can apply it to everything.
I'd have rather been watching The Aristocats, honestly. Just like for a cute animated cat film, you can't do better.
Like Lady and the Tramp.
Or Lady and the Tramp, yeah.
That's a great one. Again, sadder.
Is it?
Yeah, that's one that, like, when I was a kid, also used to make me cry all the time when they're in the pound singing "There's No Place Like Home," but I'd probably watch it now.
And the scary rats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be far sadder watching it now I have a dog.
Is the Siamese cat song problematic?
Yeah.
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 I think I'm gonna go like 4 far too realistic background sounds. Out of 10. Yeah, it's just like it's a beautiful looking film, but there's just too much happening and not enough like care into the actual making you feel sorry for the characters. You can't just go "they're an orphan" and expect your audience to be like, "Oh."
Yeah, no, like my basic, I have to be impressed by the orphan first before I give them any sympathy.
Show me some skills.
Exactly, like if they
I don't feel bad for any.
Yeah, at least be a pickpocket.
Yeah.
Bring some value to the story. It's also not great
cute.
that like Oliver doesn't push the forward story at any point.
No. He's
No,
not a good.
Oliver's just kind of there.
Yeah. Oliver never makes a decision.
He just goes along with stuff. He hasn't got any autonomy. He's weirdly, I mean, he's a child. He's a child, so he is. But he is. That's the whole point. Is that he's very vulnerable and will do things because he doesn't really understand the implications.
But even in Oliver Twist, like Oliver acts as a protagonist. He moves the story forward.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Like I've said, I remember 2 scenes from Oliver.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. This film's just weird. I'd not really recommend watching it. It's not as good as you remember. It does not hold up.
Yeah, no, it's another one of them. Oh well.
It does not hold up.
Just keep your memories of it. Sometimes the memories of things are nicer than the things themselves.
Or just watch the highlights on YouTube if you want to get that nostalgia. Just watch the song at the start. That's enough.
Yeah, songs
do that.
Good. Yeah. We literally did that before we started recording this. And I still couldn't remember how the song goes.
Yeah.
There is a Lady in the Tramp cameo, isn't there?
Yeah, there's Dalmatian cameos as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
fun.
not hard. It's just, hey, look, there's that kind of dog.
They're all in the same universe.
Yeah, the dog.
That's what it means. They're all in the same universe.
They're gonna have a team up movie where all the dogs
kill Cruella de Vil.
Yeah. I should
Right.
probably end it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've been Dan.
I've been Michael.
And I've been Helena.
You can find this podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Hilton Pod. That's at HILTM Pod. We're on Discord as well, so you can come and tell us your fond memories of the movie and just don't watch it.
Or just another film you've been disappointed by.
Yeah, what's one that this has inspired you to go back and watch, and then in doing so you've been like, oh.
What childhood memory have you ruined recently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have a Patreon where you can support us so we don't have to steal sausages to keep the show going.
No.
What are we going to be doing for the Patreon
Oh,
this week?
no.
Can we just adopt a
Oh,
kid?
no.
We could just adopt
No, we're kidnapping a child.
No, we have to rescue the child.
That's true, yeah. Though this time
with
we're
a group
rescuing
of dogs.
the kidnapped child with a group of ragtag group of dogs.
We're
That's
going
what
to use
we're doing.
God, we've got to adopt how many dogs? 5?
Oh, that sounds so good, though.
Yeah.
Why would you be against that? One of them's a little posh dog that likes listening to classical music. How good is that?
We also have to save a good bunch of money for the cleanup of the subway car absolutely annihilating a car.
No, we're
and
fine.
just all the damage and destruction.
We are perfectly fine with that because no one's going to believe the driver that's like, well, there was a bunch of dogs.
No.
Yeah, we were like, what are you going to do? Charge the dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
A car was driving into it. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, charge the gangster that we owe money to.
Yeah.
Who's now in
Dead.
several pieces across the bridge.
We'll
Yeah.
find his next of kin.
Yeah. His 2 dogs. Oh no, they gone too.
So we're gonna use. So to simple, we're gonna use your money to get a load of dogs, and
Yeah,
then
5 dogs and a little ginger kitten.
We're gonna go around saving kidnapped children with our
Yeah, it's kind
small-
of the A-Team, but with more pooper scoopers.
and yeah,
This is
It's-
our redemption arc.
this is it. This is our redemption arc.
Oh god, okay, so it's, first case we have to look inward and rescue all the children we have previously kidnapped.
Yes,
We just have to be careful because if we remember correctly, they know karate now.
they do.
Oh shit, yeah.